Welcome to Bottom Line Sports Talk. I'm George Abram. You know my partner, Albert Kempman. Albert, we love to do a draft special because it is the lifeblood of professional football. If you're a lousy drafter, you're in trouble because that salary cap, you can't just pull in Tom Brady. You can't just pull in King Henry. So if you're not a good drafting team, it's going to catch up.
Yeah, and you can see the teams that it's hurt in the past, including Cleveland and Detroit, and it takes a long time to recover. Steelers got lucky and got Roethlisberger, made him a playoff team forever, and when you miss like on Pickett, all of a sudden now they're grasping for a quarterback. It's just the way it works. George always says the NFL is the place to be the draft, though, because the worst teams get the chance to pick the best players.
So if you finished in the bottom, you're going to pick twice in the first 65.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's why you cannot make mistakes.
no,
But they do.
And Albert
But they
is
do.
here to tell you what one position can you ill afford to be
Yeah,
wrong.
we talk about it all the time, and you know, fans, it's the quarterback position right now because they're all grasping for.
Well, you know, I'm the
that
biggest
quarterback.
McCarthy fan in the world. And since he quit playing, he's rising faster
Totally.
than a meteor.
Totally, he's
Now,
up the board.
I got to go, whoa!
Up the board.
And I was his guy.
Up the board.
I loved him.
Yeah, you do.
They're ridiculous
No
now.
question about it.
They're ridiculous.
Yeah, he went from maybe second round. Now he's going to top 6 picks. So he's rising up the board, no question about it. But quarterback is the position that general managers say if we don't take him and he ends up being good,
That's happened to Chicago.
we're getting fired.
They can't risk not taking
They have to
Caleb.
take him.
Because if he were to be the next kid from Houston,
Right.
they're fired. They're all fired.
Yeah. So they say we have to take him.
And Pickett was a reach. It was proven by nobody going for 20-some picks after. Let's look at some of our history, and then we'll get into more current stuff. We've been pretty good over the years. You had mentioned Eric Berry. Probably the only thing that stopped Eric Berry was injury. He was headed to.
Yeah. It was one of our top plays immediately.
Yes.
And we've been doing this a long time.
Yes.
Draft specials are our king, and when you see Eric Berry play at Tennessee, he was definitely Palomalo in college, and he was doing that. All pro each year. He came in there, and then all of a sudden
Exactly.
he comes down with his major illness and never could play again. That was one we were right on for sure.
And another one, that star Lulele, I called out one day. I said, "There's this dude playing, and he has Southern Cal afraid to snap the ball." He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Put it on."
Yes, it's the truth. He was a run stuffer deluxe, huge man in the middle, had an excellent career in Carolina, won 13th pick, I think, in the draft, and lived up to every snap. Nobody ran the ball in Carolina. They had to throw the ball because he was in there.
And then some guys who didn't, and part of its attitude and lack of effort, Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, we didn't say he wasn't a great player.
No.
You can't draft him first because he's going to sit out games.
Yeah.
And he did. He would have a toenail injury and sit out. How do you know that? He's been with 5 teams. They finally say, listen, we know you play well when you play, but you don't play enough.
Okay, some of our other ones. Mine probably Khalil Mack. And you love Prescott.
Yeah, I saw
There
him
was
playing.
no fanfare 4th round. Don't forget
Now,
that.
remember, somebody will say, wait a minute. He's been a pro starter in the top 5 in stats every year.
Yeah.
I know he has not won a championship.
We know that.
I get the Dan Marino didn't either. But if you ask for the top 10 quarterbacks of the NFL right now, he's in the top 10.
And the numbers say that. The
Pardon?
numbers say that.
Oh, no, they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
They do.
Absolutely. And at Dallas, like Dallas, I heard something today. This is the kind of stuff we wouldn't last 5 seconds.
I know I wouldn't.
Now, how about today? The best receiver, Lamb,
Deep.
he's not there. And the kid for Penn State, he's not there. You know, that just throws a wet rag.
Why haven't?
Yeah, over your whole, and you know, it is voluntary, but are you all in or not? See,
You're
my
not all
question
in.
is,
Well, that tells you right now
that's
they
why
can't
they're
win.
not going to win.
Yeah, I can tell you right
You
now.
agree?
What did it say? They can't win.
They're not all in.
If your 2 best players don't come, how are you going to win? Yeah.
And for having no life, I got rewarded with Kareem Hunt. I watched Maction in October. These guys all make fun of me, but I said to them, I said, they got a back.
Yeah, from Toledo.
Toledo's
And
got a
and
back.
Now, he's not an all-pro, but he's had an excellent career. No question about
Absolutely.
that.
And Al's best one was Allen.
Yeah,
Allen
yeah,
loved
2000,
Josh Allen.
2000.
Albert thought he was great.
19, they kept talking about all the quarterbacks, and I kept saying the one that they're missing on is the top guy is Josh Allen. He played at Wyoming in a snowstorm, and you'd see him throw the ball 60 yards right through it, and the guy would drop it, and he has no control over anybody else.
No, we were all.
And then he could run
Oh,
like a deer. He's huge, so you can see. He hasn't won a championship, but Buffalo's nothing.
and I think
Without
you
him.
know what, the old addition by subtraction, by Stephon,
Diggs.
by every
I think
sideline.
behind the scenes, I know the Buffalo
Yeah.
people were saying,
Hey,
Buffalo players,
You know,
we're happy he's gone.
Albert. Every time they showed the camera on the sideline, what was he
Throwing
doing?
his helmet down, blaming somebody.
Yeah, I'm open.
I know.
We know. Everyone thinks they're open. Now, historically, best draft ever, '83. Would you agree with that?
There's a no-brainer when you
List some of those guys for
I know
people.
Elway's in that draft for
Yep,
sure.
yep, Dickerson.
And Eric Dickerson, one of the all-time backs. Bruce Matthews. Anybody block? You know how great he was. Jim Kelly, another quarterback.
Yeah.
Marino, we talked about already.
Yeah.
Darryl Green doesn't get enough credit.
Oh my God.
One of the top defensive backs of all
I
time.
remember he was in the league like 15 years, still running a 4.4. I mean, that's criminal.
Then two Bears, Richard Dent and Jim Covert. In that draft, 1983, George and I's research, 42 Pro Bowlers. No other draft close to that.
He's just 42.
Yeah. So that draft was a runaway freight train for great players.
But let me ask you, I'm going to not put you on the spot. I wouldn't do that, but
That's okay.
just an interesting question. Guys like Marino, have you, like when we were young, if you didn't win a championship,
Well, that's what they're saying about him.
you weren't. But I mean,
But I
it
know
seems like over the years, people have come around and said, wait, he can't control the defense. Where are
They
you?
still don't, though. They still don't.
Where are
Like,
you?
For example, Caitlin Clark, I heard her get called out many times.
Oh, my.
That they can't put her in the top players because she didn't win a championship.
Oh, my God.
Why just laugh about that? Because a great player is a great player.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a sports fan like George and I, you don't have to win a championship to tell us Dan Marino's not any good or good. He's the Hall of Fame greatness. Sometimes George says the ball doesn't bounce your way.
Ernie Banks. You're Ernie Banks. Like for the Cubs, I remember for years he could never get the MVP.
Well, I do believe in that though.
Okay.
I do agree with that one. I would have two different awards.
Yeah, I mean, all you
most outstanding player,
most valuable.
or most valuable
Oh,
player.
I got you.
Then he would get one of those awards.
The valuable.
Yes.
Okay, now probably the best team draft of all time.
No, probably.
Is
Definite.
a local
It's
team.
a definite.
Pittsburgh.
1974.
Go over those five
No,
guys.
in 1974, we're old timers, but I was right in my heyday, and I had no idea when they said in the second round they're taking a guy named Jack Lambert, and he was a local guy from Crestview around here, and then the fourth round they take a guy named John Stallworth.
Yeah. Pittsburgh had great luck with the all-black colleges.
They did tremendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, no question about that. Lynn Swann went number 1 in that draft, and number 5 went to Mike Webster. What do those all four have in common? All four in the Hall of Fame. Sometimes it's hard to get one off a team in the Hall of Fame.
Well, as a matter
They
of
had
fact,
4 in the same draft.
you know, I'm not the Steeler fan, but I can be objective.
Right.
There should be more. Guys like Andy Russell didn't make
L.C.
it.
Greenwood, I know.
And because I think they have 14 in.
Yeah.
I counted them over at the barbershop. They have like a big thing with all the numbers.
Awesome. So Pittsburgh Steelers and the Green Bay Packers have that in common. When you get so many in there, you say, we have to stop.
Yeah, we
we
can't
can't
put-
put any
we
more
can't
in
put him
there.
in too.
And there's a couple more. For Steelers, definitely. No question about it. That takes us to this year's draft, George.
Yep.
And we're ready for you fans. And you want to get your pencil and papers out and grade us on what we think is right. George's already mentioned how much he likes J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
That's been his
I
guy.
did before they turned him into Superman. He's interviewing at like 5 places in 5 days. I mean, what I liked about him is the obvious. He's a winner. We like winners. Like what did Herb say? You play to win. But see, that blemish at State College, he has trouble getting out from under
For
that.
me.
Yeah.
For
No,
me.
I understand though.
Yeah, George
How can I argue with it?
Because stat-wise, arm-wise, he looks like he can do a lot of things. He can run like a deer.
He does.
I just have a hard time believing that Harbaugh said we have the best quarterback in the country and throws 7 passes a game with him.
Remember, Harbaugh wasn't there, but still, it's the
No, but
same
I thought
game.
when he played.
No, you're absolutely right.
No, so-
and I can't argue.
You
In
know,
other words,
I don't grasp it.
No, I can come back and say, well, he made the throws against Ohio State and
Yeah, he did.
Alabama.
Yeah, that's what they
but
say. That's what
your
they're saying.
thing is very, very, very hard to refute when you say he didn't throw a pass.
Yeah, so when I came, George says, I'll tell you, I had the best point guard in the country. I'm telling you, I had the best point guard. I said, George, he didn't shoot. He shot six shots in the game.
Yeah.
And, it's hard for me to grasp that. But George liked McCarthy, and he likes Drake May a lot.
There's some, I don't know.
Remember you said you liked the play that he made against
Pittsburgh. He was rolling left. They grabbed his right arm. He threw it left-handed for a touchdown. I don't care.
You can't do that.
And you can't make it. And that's not the kind of thing you can practice.
Yeah, so those are 2 of the top quarterbacks coming there. My
You
guy
like
is
Jaden.
Josh Daniels. Jaden Daniels,
Yeah.
excuse me. Jaden Daniels has all the attributes I look for in a quarterback in the pros these days. Can run like a deer and can throw the deep pass and is accurate. Those are 3. Now, what's his downfall? Why are they worried about him? He's thin. He's 210 pounds. I consider thin 150, 170.
Yeah,
but we're going to find out. If he gets hurt right away, then they were right.
Someone said the other day about throwing over the middle. The other dude goes, he completed 80%. What do you mean he can't throw over the middle? Who thought that
Well,
up?
that's what they did. They break down the. You do that many times.
Yeah,
So
well,
George
yeah.
calls it.
I try to, paralysis of analysis.
Yeah, how you say it?
Paralysis of
You
analysis.
watch so many things that you pick out one throw he didn't make over the middle, and you think, I don't know if he can do it.
Oh, it happened to me with Nix. He overthrew a swing pass when he was at Auburn.
He's never coming back.
He's never coming back. I'm done with Nick. What happened? Well, I saw a guy going out of the backfield, wide open, 3rd down, keep the sticks going. He threw it over his head. I mean, he's done.
Yeah, I'm not a Knicks guy either, though.
No, and he's old, too. Don't forget, he's old.
All right, so you're questioning right now on our show. You mean you're leaving Caleb Williams out? I think he's a super talent. I think he's going to get very unlucky. He's going to the Bears.
He needs to go to the Bahamas, right?
He wants warm weather. He's going to the Bears. George made a good comment on our radio show. Not only do you include Chicago coming off the lake, but he also has to play at Green Bay.
Good luck, buddy.
Do you understand?
I remember one day.
These places are going to be
When the Bears were great, Al one time he says to me, this is 85, I think.
best team ever.
He says,
Second, that's my favorite team.
he says to me, he says, look at that line. It was like 14.
Right.
I said, let me ask you this. Is the other team going to score more than 7? He goes, no. I go, there's
There's
your
no
answer.
chance.
So you can't score there. You can't throw the ball. It's so cold and so windy when the games matter.
They wonder why forever, not just now.
They record.
Forever at the Bears, the Bears staffs are not good throwing.
No.
There's a reason.
And they always say, well, they haven't had a quarterback since Sid Luckman.
Right, I know.
But think about what and the other guy, that's one of the reasons I like Eli Manning so much. They said that place they play in
That's why he has to be
is
good.
a wind tunnel.
He has to be good.
Have you ever heard him say a word?
play there. I said, you have
I
to be good.
never heard him, and the dude played every game. Same with his brother. You cannot like the commercials.
That's why you like it.
But
That's why you like him.
every-
Hurt or no hurt, they were
Guess
playing.
what? Every Sunday
They were playing.
they were playing. And guess what, too? Let me give you plan B. They were prepared.
Always.
That's like this guy.
Always. Way more prepared
Like
than
this
any other
muscleman that went to Southern Cal. I'll tell you a story about him. When he was in the G League or the whatever they call like the Eastern League, he's a game plan nut. And he had 2 guys there, and he says to him, he says, "Who do we play next?" Cut them both.
They didn't know.
Cut
Cut
them
'em.
both. No, that I mean he's all in.
Well, Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, they knew that they played
They
4
knew
games down the road.
Believe me.
Yeah, they're down
And
the
this
road.
is what
But
you
Caleb
need.
Williams would be a good guy to take on the road. If he plays indoors, that's when you'll see him shine because that's what he's used to playing.
Yeah, Detroit, he'll be fine.
Yes, these kind of places, no
So-
question.
Hey, how about we're past running backs, right?
Yeah, you'd have to be Jim Brown for me to take a running back.
Me too.
So what George and I did, we looked at all the running backs, came up with one in the 5th round, and if you watch Clemson play, he gets it done in a variety of ways. That's Will Shipley, catches passes, breaks runs, gets a tough yard, his versatility, and he'll end up being a very good special teamer also.
He played in the bowl.
Yeah, so I don't want anybody. I don't want any backs before the 2nd round.
You know why I don't? I watch Mostert.
Yes.
I don't want any running backs because I see what you can do.
It's all throughout the NFL. It's all throughout. The running backs are not all first rounders.
Wide receiver Harrison, no.
Oh yeah, there's no question about Harrison. That's an easy choice. But we don't like to just pick the easy choice. So we dig a little deeper, and Brian Thomas from LSU fits the NFL. Size to jump up and take it off you, speed to run past you, and it's a lot like Chase and Jefferson coming out of LSU. They know Neighbors is that good at LSU. He was Chase. Jefferson was afterthought compared to Chase, and he asked about Jefferson ended up being the best receiver in football. I think Thomas is that same kind of talent. Boy, does LSU have players every year or what?
That's like the other day. Steelers get that middle linebacker, and somebody said, they got that dude from the Ravens. And I said, yeah, and guess where he played?
Yeah,
LSU.
Yeah, if you play at LSU, you are running like a deer. Who was it, Booger?
No, Booger. It's a true story. Ryan Clark, first day, he goes to practice. He's like mesmerized. LSU. Calls his mom. He said, Mama, we made a mistake. What are you talking about? So we should go into Nichols. She said, why? He said, there's a dude named Booger here, weighs 300 pounds, and he's faster than me. Now, what do you say to that?
One of the greatest lines ever.
It's true.
And now everybody knows who Booger's from watching TV.
Booger, yeah.
Booger McFarland, you can outrun the defensive backs. That's all you got. And LSU has a million of them. No, million of them. That's who they have. If you see a draft choice LSU, you think, ooh, this guy's pretty good.
Say, which door you want me to take? They give him that $14 million. They said he's on the beach in Miami every day.
Every day.
Oh my gosh! But that's the kind of talent they have. Steelers, you like
fans,
Pearsall?
Local, yeah, love Pearsall. I don't like him. Ricky Pearsall transferred into Florida a couple years ago, ready-made for the NFL. Slot receiver. You've seen those white guys in the slot that are fast, make quick cuts. That's him all the way. He does it. The Rams have two of them. Guys are just quick off their feet. He's fast, but not just straight down the field not like Brian Thomas.
Even at Slippery Rock, they have jump cutters running the ball.
Yeah,
at D2 Slippery Rock. I mean,
so Ricky Pearsall from Florida. I hope the Steelers get him. No question about it. I'd love to say that for the Browns to get somebody, but they don't have a first-round pick.
No.
Well, their pick really is.
You can't. No, you got to have the quarterback. Watson has to be Watson.
He has to be the number one
from
pick.
Houston. Right.
He has to be.
And
Go back to where he was.
And Chubb.
When he was first playing
that leg
in the NFL, he was tremendous. Last couple years, George. I remember you said it.
Yeah.
He's not the same player.
I said him.
George called me ahead of time.
I said, I know it's practice, but I just thought he'd be better.
He's never got it back.
One
game for a half. He looked really good. That's it.
And you could see it's available from the way Flacco played when he was in there. You got a 45-year-old man playing like that.
Playing him like crazy.
It tells you something.
Oh, the Browns fans wanted to keep Flacco badly.
Absolutely.
Offensive line play is still we're talking about all the receivers and all the great glamour positions. Still the offensive line is where you want to go. Latham from Alabama is our favorite tackle. I know Alt is getting all the recognition in Notre Dame.
We like Latham.
Yeah.
Alt's going first. I think he's
no doubt he's going to be the guy going first.
Plus money to go number 8 or 9.
Yeah, no question.
Okay.
Latham though is huge, has great feet, and he played against LSU players every week. He played at Alabama. That's the competition he played. So we'll take him there. For the Steelers, I already said that I'd like to get Pearsall a little later, second, third, or fourth round. Their number one pick should be Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon. Powerful. Steelers, with their great teams, have always had great centers.
Hey, and Bowers, you can't beat Bowers.
Number one player in the draft.
Is that correct?
Number one player in the draft. No, George brought it up.
Oh, my.
Yeah, there's nothing he can't do. When he gets to the pros.
No. And if he gets to some team that has to use a tight end.
They have to. If you don't use him, then you're stupid.
Look out.
But he's a fast replica of Kelsey. He's faster than Kelsey is. Now, he doesn't have the body makeup of Kelsey, how he moves and how Kelsey plays. Yeah. But no, the best player in the draft. We always like to say who's the best player.
It's him. Let's take a look at the defense here.
Defensively, when you look at the defense, George, look up front first, and Johnny Newton from Illinois is the only guy I saw that was a three down player all the time on the inside of the. What was Belisma? How you say his name? The coach of Illinois.
Yeah, Bilsma. Yeah.
How you say his name?
Yeah.
He got lucky.
Bielema. Hi, Bielema.
Thank you. Bielema got lucky with Newton, dominating player in there with he can pass rush and stop the run. That's the one defensive lineman I would take early. But
How about Fisk?
There's a dark horse.
I saw him at the combine.
Oh, did you?
The boy can run.
Oh, think about that. He can run. I didn't even know he was caught. I was going by totally on the field. And that's Braden Fisk, transferred in from Western Michigan, being compared to the Watts with regards to
That's high cotton.
the motor he has.
Nobody plays harder than that
No.
guy. The younger Watt.
Yep.
Nobody.
Every down he plays
Listen,
hard.
I'm not a Steeler fan, but I've watched him.
Every down. And that's what Fisk does. And so he went to Florida State. I guarantee you the kids at Florida State were thinking, hey, we have a kid coming in from Western Michigan. Until the first day they saw him hit somebody and then run.
Yeah.
Yeah, Braden Fisk is a guy I would definitely take a chance on in early. He's that kind of player. At the same school, if you want to pass rusher, Jared versus the guy was flied up. High school wasn't even a big-time recruit. Got turned into something at Florida State. Took a low number. Anytime you see a low number on somebody in the college, you'll know he can run like a deer. Speed, run, turns the corner. George, every team's looking for a quarterback and a pass rusher.
No,
That's
they
what
just
they're
write
for.
edge by their position. They edge. That tells you they're coming there every play. And Watt does that. He comes every play. He might miss them, but he might just judo chop
besides
that
being a
ball out
talented
of
guy,
Yeah.
Watt it sets the tone for everybody.
Let's talk about that. You can't loaf playing beside Ray Lewis.
Yes.
And you can't loaf playing beside Watt because you just can't.
And we talked about Dallas, two guys not showing up.
Boy,
well, if they don't show up, we think,
Yeah.
why do we have to show
How
up?
important is that?
Yes, just the opposite
Yeah.
of what the boys do.
How about the
when they
line?
play.
How about the linebackers? You weak class?
Weakest class has come through. Peyton Wilson is a first rounder, but I couldn't take him. He's always hurt. I mean, always hurt. I'm talking about real injuries too, not Clowney. Clowney's sitting out. I'm talking about, man, his body gets beat up because he's always in there playing. But he is worth the first rounder. He's the one linebacker that I would take for sure. This draft is loaded with quarterbacks, George, receivers,
O-line.
and offensive line.
There's 8 or 9 O linemen going, 7, and then the over/under on quarterbacks first round's 5, and they're questioning whether someone will come up to take Penix to make it 6.
Right.
It's that's what they're not sure of.
How about, I remember you called me and said, hey, I knew Penix could throw the long ball. I didn't know he could run like this.
Watch them, we ran 4 or 5 in the combine.
Yeah, he shocked everybody.
And see, they said to him, what's up with that? He said, oh, no. He said, I'm a pocket passer, but don't think I can't.
He proved it right there.
He proved it.
Yeah, and so he went up in my eyes, and
You're
that's
absolutely
in my ear, because I like quarterbacks that can run the ball for a first down with 3rd and 6. As great as Mahomes is throwing the ball, I mean he's the best.
Oh.
If you mess around on 3rd and 6,
He'll take it.
he'll take it. He'll run it for.
Oh, I remember there was one of those big plays in the Super Bowl, and he was telling Andy, they were talking. He said, I got it if it's covered. He says, I'll get it.
Yeah, I'll run it. Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah, no question. So that's what when you look at the quarterbacks play, that's why I like Daniels so much, and that's why George likes McCarthy. He has that same kind of speed.
Oh, sometimes he gets labeled because they don't know how athletic he is.
Right. Super athletic.
No, absolutely.
Defensive backs, there are defensive backs from Toledo and Georgia and Alabama rated ahead of the guy that George and I are going to give you. It's T.J. Tampa from Iowa State. He's a big kid. I like big corners who can contest the ball down the field, and he can run, and he can play press coverage. Today's world, Kansas City plays that way all the time with Snead. By the way, they lost him. Pass happy Big 12 too, George.
That's another thing.
Isn't like he hasn't seen a lot of
if I have an Iowa State guy and I have a MAC guy on the board, nothing against the MAC. I like the MAC.
Right.
But I got a guy in Iowa State that played in a pass-happy league.
Right. You see him against great receivers all the time.
That's the other thing.
Worthy guy from Texas, the fastest guy. He covered them all over the field. That's the one time the combine comes into play, by the way. I'm not a combine guy now.
No.
George isn't either.
I hate that.
But if you have a guy that comes from a little conference, that they're worried about the competition, like they're worried about that's why you go to the Senior Bowl.
Who did he play against?
That's why you go to the Senior Bowl. You go to the Senior Bowl in the combine and say, look, I can run a 4.34. And in Senior Bowl, I could cover the kid from Texas. If you're a top flight player, I just watch their film every week. That's what George and I do.
Because they're covering guys like that.
Every day.
See, it's like we talk, guys will say to us, AAU basketball, it's the same premise. If you have a 6'8" guy,
right,
what is happening week in and week out? He's looking at a guy 6'2",
in high school, yes,
6'3", and you know what? You're looking and you're like, I don't know how good he is because nobody looks him in the eye. That's a reason to go to AAU, to go to 5-star. Same thing here. The combine, you got a guy, and he's just doing everything in the MAC.
right.
Well, let's line him up against a Texas receiver.
Yeah, George lined it up really clear about that AAU stuff. It's a moneymaker right now, totally to that degree. They'll take my 5'10" grandson, and they want his money. But if you're a 6'7" kid who's on the edge and you're not sure how good he is, send him to the best camp you get him to against 4 other 6'7" guys and find out how he can play.
This happened to me the other day. I was in a restaurant. Somebody watched the show. They liked the show. It was interesting. Ladies were very nice, a grandma type.
Right.
And she must be kicking in. She says, "Okay, coach." She said, "What do you think about travel ball?" I said, "Listen." I said, "It's turned into a cash cow."
Yeah, totally.
But let me say this, and I basically covered. I said, "Look," I said, "Ma'am, can you afford it?" They're well heeled.
Okay.
She said, "Yes." I said, "Do it."
Right.
The best I could come up with, because the truth of the matter is, he would probably, big word, probably be seen at his local high school or wherever, but he will be seen at one of these showcases.
Yeah, and there's a reason to go too. If you have the money, as George just mentioned, it's better than sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
At least you're out there. You're out there playing. You're on the court playing. So, in the NFL, the combine is not good for us. We don't care about. We've seen him play. We know he can play or not. But it is good for somebody that might have played for Lehigh. George don't see Lehigh.
No, they're St. Francis.
Yeah.
I know they're good.
There might be a player there that snuck through the cracks. Said, "Wow."
The guy went to Florida State first.
Yes, it could happen. It could happen all the time.
Hey, in our last couple of minutes too, that's the other thing. We talk about this competition. There are players everywhere.
Yeah, in today's world, listen, parents watching this show in Eastern Ohio and Western Pennsylvania, and you think your kid's really good.
And he could be.
If he's really good, guess what? They know.
They know already.
They know him since 10th grade. They have known maybe his ninth grade. So don't say the coach didn't show him off.
Coach didn't give him his letters. That's the one. I heard one the other day. The coach, first of all,
Didn't give him his letters.
they'll recruit right over to high school coach.
Oh, for sure.
Like in basketball, they don't even
Football
talk to the
too.
high school
Football
coaches
too.
anymore. Oh no, with this 7-on-7 year round in Ohio, this is just added
They're going
another.
straight to the parents saying, "Listen,
This is added another
you
notch.
can come to us." So all these NFL players that we've mentioned,
Yeah, everyone.
if there's 500 of them, 499, they knew 499 in 10th grade.
Yeah.
There might be one kid that was 5'11",
Yeah.
in between his senior and
Now
college.
he's 6'4".
Yeah,
No.
grew 6 inches.
No.
Other than that, they know every player going. George and I know every player by watching them on TV. There's not a kid. If they're on TV, George is definitely.
Yeah.
He's more than most. Have seen them all. So when we mention a player, we're not mentioning them because they run a 4.3.
No.
We're mentioning them because they play great football
They can play.
on the field.
Hey, you heard it here. Thanks again for watching Bottom Line Sports Talk. I hope you enjoyed our draft special.